Good morning and welcome to the show. Today, I'd like us to address a question that I came across on LinkedIn, and that's whether we should be putting a lot of effort into producing offers, proposals, and presentations. Well, first off, what's an offer? What's a proposal? What's a presentation? That is that document or that stage of the conversation or sales cycle or business relationship where we're showing something to someone and trying to get them to say yes to something. Yeah, the definition might sound vague, but I'm trying to cover all kinds of situations where we're sending a WhatsApp message or a PowerPoint presentation or a PDF or a Word document or a glossy brochure or whatever, and we're trying to get the person to engage our products or our services. So, if you're an architect, this could include the part where you are in the potential client's office and you're walking them through your what's it called, your elevations and however it is that you guys show your slideshows in the presentation process. And if that's not how you architects do it, then my apologies. I'm just riffing here since I'm not an architect. And then, of course, if you're a wedding photographer, and this is the part where you're sending the email or the WhatsApp messages that has everything: gold, silver, bronze, and a small note about why the silver package would be the best for them, and blah blah blah. So that essentially is what an offer, a proposal, or a presentation is. You're at the stage in the relationship, or you're at the stage in the interaction where you're trying to get them to buy something or to engage your services. And to do that, you actually have to present something, you have to offer something, or you have to make some sort of a proposal, something they can say yes or no to, whatever that thing is, and no matter the form that it may take. And so, is any measure of time going to go into putting these things together? Yes, of course, there's going to be some time putting together whatever it is. Um, Especially like if you are the architect, for instance, the architect is not in a situation where everything he or she does can be batch produced. So for the architect, every single time you're doing something for a new client, yes, there might be certain themes like bungalows, high risings, factory elevations, stuff like that. But essentially, everything that you're going to be doing for most clients is going to be bespoke. So unfortunately, you are going to have to put a lot of time in putting together that offer, proposal, or the presentation. There are some people who have set offers that people can choose from, a la carte menus, things like that. So, wedding photographers, cake bakers, you people don't have to spend a lot of time putting together presentations because a lot of the stuff that you do is, already batched. So, a wedding day is a wedding day, an album is an album, frames are frames. Changing the invoice or the price quote and just flipping around the number of albums, the number of frames, things like that. These sort of things are pretty much automated, depending on the invoicing software that you use. So a lot of time doesn't have to go into that per se. Now, there are other classes of people, or rather, let's go back to the class of people like the architect, who most of the things you're going to do is bespoke. Now, let's ask the question: why would a lot of time be going into this process of putting together an offer or a proposal or a presentation? And in fact, let's ask the question: why is that timing thing even important? The time thing is important because if you're going to waste, okay, not waste, because this is potentially productive. If you're going to use 4 hours putting together a proposal for someone and you're sending out proposals every day and you send two every day, so that's 8 hours every day for 5 days of the week, so that's 40 hours. If my math is correct. So if you spent 40 hours this week putting out proposals, you want to be sure that that time is well spent and you're getting a lot of money. So I guess that is the biggest concern. That's the biggest concern against the backdrop of this question. If I'm wasting a lot of time putting out all these things and it's not bringing me a lot of moolah, it's not bringing me a lot of money, then what's the whole point? And by the way, should it be this difficult? Are there much more efficient ways of putting together presentation? And the answer is yes. And if those are your concerns, then you're reasoning in the right direction. So, putting together the proposal or the offer should not be time consuming, and it should be worth your while if you have an efficient sales process and if you follow it efficiently and diligently. So if you're just randomly putting together proposals for absolutely everyone or anyone, then you are wasting your time, because there's no guarantee that the 40 hours that you put together into producing PowerPoints and Excel sheets and slides and PDFs, there's no guarantee that all that time that you've also been putting out in sending out invoices last week is going to result in business that you get this week. So what you should be doing actually is be paying attention to the qualification part of the sales process, the discovery and the qualifications part. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, I'm going to give a brief overview of what qualification is and what discovery is. For those of you who are old-time listeners, I'm sure you already see how it fits together. Now, the sales process can be broken down depending on who you're talking to into different stages. There's one stage which is prospecting, where we're looking for people who have a need for our product or our service. And then there's a qualification stage where we try to engage them in conversation, try and figure out who they are, where they're coming from, what the background is. Discovery question is where we go straight into the need. What is the problem that they have or the vision that they're trying to solve? And that is where we get all the information that we need to make a presentation or proposal, which is the next stage. So back to the wedding photographer example, since I've already done a lot with the architect and Mrs. Ogedengbe in the last couple of episodes. So where are we? So with the wedding photographer, you meet the bride and the groom at the wedding expo. That's because you've been doing prospecting. You've paid to be at an event where you can meet brides and grooms. So that's prospecting. So next is going to be qualifications. Hey, you guys, thanks for coming into the booth. Who are you guys? How did you guys meet? How long has the relationship been going on? How did he propose? Blah, blah, blah. You're just trying to build some rapport, get some information about them. It helps you suss out who the potential clients are, the kind of people that they are, their economic background, their interests, stuff like that. You get a vibe of whether you guys would be good at working together. Then eventually you get down into the whole point of discovery. That's where you start asking much more pointed questions like, okay, what's your perfect idea of wedding photography like? Okay, it looks like you like more of these idealized kind of stuff, but all I do is black and white and I keep it candid. Is that the kind of photography that you guys are interested in? And if they say no, because you've been asking the right questions, this is the point where you say goodbye. And there's no point in putting together an invoice for these people, because your skill set and the inventory that you have is for a certain kind of photography that they do not like. So there's no point in wasting time to put together an email, a WhatsApp message, or whatever for them. You're best off just saying, oh, I'm sorry, looks like we're not a fit, we're not going to be able to work together. However, I know this guy, Kunle, or I know this girl, Katrina. She's really good, correct photographer. She does the kind of thing I would like. How about I hook you guys up? And they say, oh, yeah, sure, no problem. You take their phone number and you do just that. After the event is over, hook them up with Kunle or hook them up with Katrina or Kemi. And you tell Kemi that, hey, you know what? I invested like 120K for this event. So far, I'm not getting any leads. So Kemi, I beg, I'd really appreciate it if you do a deal with these people. Can you spot me 10 grand or can you spot me 20K or something like that? So try and farm it out. Try and make a referral to somebody who you think is competent and should be able to satisfy them. In this case, there's no point in putting any time and attention to putting together a proposal for them. That's because you have been paying attention at the qualification stage and at the discovery stage. So you've seen that there's not much chance of business coming out here, and you guys are not going to be a good fit, so there's no point in working together. So this is how the qualification stage and the discovery stage saves you a lot of time and effort and helps you weed out people that you should not be wasting time putting together proposals for. Because as an architect, as a wedding photographer, as a poultry seller, you shouldn't be putting together proposals for absolutely everyone. So you're a poultry seller. Somebody comes to your farm and then they ask about how much you sell layers or how much you sell broilers and stuff like that. You have those conversations, discovery and qualification. So qualification and discovery questions. So qualifications, oh, okay, yeah, thanks for coming to the factory. How did you guys hear about me? Oh, by the way, where's your own farm? Oh, you don't have a farm yet. You're just thinking of setting up a farm. Okay, or you think that this is a good business opportunity. Why do you think so? Okay, because you went to some seminar that was advertised on Cool FM radio. Okay, no problem. You give them a tour. How long have you been in business? Oh, okay, you're retiring PAMSEC. Okay, you've collected your pension. You want to enter into the business. You give them a tour of the factory. You ask them a couple of questions. Okay, when you buy broilers, exactly what do you want to do with the broilers? Are you using it so that you can sell eggs, or do you want to be selling it for the meat? Those sorts of things. Now, with this example that I've given right here, you've seen now that this is somebody who is asking about chickens just because the person is interested. It's not as if they have a what's it called? Not a factory, a poultry. They don't have a poultry of their own. They're not thinking of setting up a poultry yet. They just came by your place because they heard that you're the specialist, and it's something that they're interested in because they're getting ready to retire from active service and they've attended one or two business seminars. In this case, there's probably no point in putting together a proposal, an offer, or a presentation for this person on supplying broilers or layers or whatever. Please, for those of you in the poultry space, forgive me if I'm using the wrong terms. I'm just freestyling here. My aunt is in this space, but I don't know the difference between a broiler and a layer. Okay, I think layers lay eggs. But anyway, you guys get the point. I'm freestyling here. I'm just riffing. So there's no point because this person, even though they've come to your place and they have asked all the right questions, it's clear that they're not getting ready to take action anytime soon. They haven't bought any land, they don't have any buildings, they don't have a concrete plan to go ahead. So there's no point in putting together any offer or proposal or a presentation because there's no sense of urgency here. The person isn't ready to take action, the person is just curious, the person is just asking a couple of questions. So in this case, what you should be doing, or at least people in the online space, they call it what's it called? Relationship nurturing. Yeah, lead nurturing, relationship nurturing. That's what you do. You hang on to the person's phone number, and you push the contact a couple of months out or a couple of weeks out or whatever, and you check on that person from time to time. You say, hey, Madam Pamsec, how you do? You guys have retired. How's life in retirement? Okay, you guys have collected your check. So how far? Are you still interested in that chicken rearing idea? Are you taking are you putting together, are you coming up with an action plan anytime soon? And if they now respond, oh yes, I've collected my pension check. In fact, I was going to call you. I've spoken to my cousin in Lukbeju. He has a plot of land. We have started clearing it. In fact, I was even going to call you. I was going to call you now. I'm glad that your phone call came in. I mean, now it's a different thing. The person is interested. The person has gotten the funds. They claim that they've started clearing the land. Now you can start entertaining this thing that you can put together some sort of proposal. Of course, you need to have much more conversations, but now it's looking like you can put together a proposal to sell them 200 broilers or 200 layers or something because it looks like there's a sense of urgency and a deal is imminent. So these are the sorts of things you should be looking at before invest time or money in putting together proposals and presentations. And yes, for some people it involves money because you want to make it look nice, so you send your cousin 5k, if your cousin is the one who handles your graphics and design, to just make a nice cover, or you get somebody on Upwork or Fiverr or what's this one called? There's a Nigerian version of these sites. Gosh, I can't remember what it's called, but there's a Nigerian version of these sites anyway, where you can go and pay someone to do some of your design work and come up with copy and things like that. So for some people, it's not just money, it's time. So these are the sorts of things that you should be paying attention to before you put time or effort out to put up a proposal. So proposals should not be taking you time to put together if you have done the qualification and the discovery stage of the sales process well. These processes will also help you weed out people that you should not be sending presentations to now. And if there are people who it looks like they might be a good contact to hold on to, then what you should be employing is lead nurturing tactics. You're reaching out to those people every once in a while. You're trying to see how they are, where they are, if their needs have changed, and you're not going to be able to get a sense of, okay, it's now time to invest some more into the relationship, or maybe time to cut the people off entirely, because it's possible that you might call Madame Permsec, and yes, she has collected her disengagement benefits and stuff like that, But now she's not interested in poultry anymore. Right now, she's interested in cryptocurrencies, and in fact, she has bought her first set of Bitcoin or whatever, and she's wondering how to make a buck. Now, in that case, you, the poultry owner, I don't think there's any point in hanging on to Madame Permsek's number, at least from a business perspective, because it looks like your business paths have divulged. And so, just like with the wedding photographer, the whole thing is the same. You can say, "Oh, okay, I wish you best of luck," and end it there. Or you can try to do the helpful thing, which is, "Okay, you know what? I don't know anything about I wish you best of luck in your business journey. I don't know anything about cryptocurrency and blockchain, but my son runs a cryptocurrency. My son, my daughter runs a cryptocurrency. What are they called? Cryptocurrency exchange. Why don't I put you through and maybe you'll be able to get some more value out of that instead." And then Madam Pamsek may say, "Oh, thank you very much. In fact, I find this whole thing confusing, blah, 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 blah." And say, "Okay, no problem." You end the call. Then you call up your son, call up your daughter or your nephew or whoever it is that runs the cryptocurrency exchange and say, "You know what? I'm sending this client your way, this potential client your way. This is the situation. They're retired. Take good care of them. Oh, and by the way, if you can make some good business off of it, spot me 5K or 10K or whatever." If you're that kind of person who pursues commissions, there are some people who, on ethical grounds, or should I say religious grounds, choose not to ask for commissions entirely. Because some people say things like, "No, I'm not going to collect a commission from anyone because God uses people to help people in different ways." So I'm not saying collect a commission. And I'm not saying don't collect a commission. I'm just saying that those are viable options depending on who you are and what your philosophy is on these sorts of things. So, should you be putting a lot of time and effort into producing offers, proposals, and presentations? The answer is no. You should be putting a lot of time into them if you don't think you're going to get substantial results from that. How do you know if you're going to get good results from that? Is by following the qualification and the discovery stage of the sales process. So pay attention to that. It'll make your offers, your proposals, your presentations a whole lot easier because you get all the information that you need to include it in the document or in the process. And then it will also help you weed out people who you shouldn't be spending time putting proposals out for in the first place. If this is your first time of listening to the podcast, then after you're done listening to this episode, use the search function in your podcast player. You'll be able to find lots of resources over here. I think right now we have over 490 podcast episodes. Sorry, 590 podcast episodes. We're pushing on 600 right now. And I've made dozens and dozens of episodes on discovery and qualification, sales processes, things like that. So use those search items in the taskbar, and you'll be able to get a lot of value from all the free content that I've put out. However, if you do want something that is going to be much more tailored to your situation, something that is much more involved, where I can work with you to help come up with specific parts of your own sales process and help guide you through the discovery process, the qualifications process, come up with your own sales framework, or make your proposals a whole lot tighter and much more effective, then I have a paid option coming up. And that's going to be in 5 days on the 27th of March, and that is the sales clinic. It's going to be sales coaching delivered over WhatsApp, where you have guaranteed 2-hour access to me over a period of a week. If you're interested, then hit me up for details. So, thank you very much for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys at the next recording, where we're going to have some more questions that are sort of related to this matter, but of course also came up something I came across on LinkedIn. So, yeah, thanks for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys at the next recording.